What if I told you that the biggest story of the Falcons season has nothing to do with the players on the field? What if the real turning point, the moment that could rewrite the future of this franchise, is happening quietly, behind closed doors, right now? Because suddenly, out of nowhere, the Atlanta Falcons are being linked to a name so big, so proven, so franchise-altering, that it almost doesn't feel real. Matt LaFleur. Yes. That Matt LaFleur, the coach who walked into Green Bay and immediately turned chaos into consistency, the guy who maintained one of the best early career coaching records in NFL history, the same man who managed the impossible transition from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love without letting the entire organization collapse under pressure. A coach people assumed would stay in Green Bay for a decade, maybe longer. But now, there's smoke. Real smoke. A report dropped, not from some random Twitter account, not from some clickbait rumor machine, but from a voice who doesn't speak unless he knows something, a local insider who almost never throws out speculation unless it has weight behind it. And the bomb he dropped? Keep your eye on Matt LaFleur. The entire studio froze. Every conversation about Raheem Morris, short-term plans, long-term stability, all of it suddenly felt small. Because this wasn't just a rumor about any coach, this was about a top-tier NFL mind potentially becoming available. According to the report, if the Packers missed the playoffs, Green Bay, one of the most stable organizations in football, could actually consider moving on. And here's where it gets even crazier: LaFleur still has deep ties in Atlanta. He still has relationships here. And if Green Bay lets him go, he would be genuinely interested in coming back. Just sit with that for a moment. A coach with elite credentials. A coach who knows how to develop quarterbacks. A coach who wins immediately and consistently. A coach who could walk in and change everything about the direction of this franchise. And now, suddenly, his name is floating over Flowery Branch like a storm cloud of possibility. Whispers started floating through Atlanta, quiet at first, then louder, like a storm rolling toward the city. The idea sounded outrageous, until it didn't anymore. If a certain coach up in Green Bay ever became available, Atlanta wouldn't wait a single sunrise before making a move. And honestly, that belief wasn't coming from random fans on social media. It was coming from people who understand this franchise, people who've watched it stumble in the same cycle for far too long. What makes this rumor so explosive is how perfectly the pieces fit. This coach already knows Atlanta. He's walked those halls, worked in those offices, and understands exactly what ownership expects. He understands the pressure, the market, the hunger that's been building inside this fan base for years. And familiarity matters in the NFL more than people realize. When a team is rebuilding or reshaping its identity, hiring someone who already understands the DNA of the building gives you a head start nobody talks about. But that's only the surface. This coach is everything the Falcons have been missing. Experience. Proven success. Stability. Quarterback development. A real offensive identity. Not just flashes. Not just potential. A real blueprint. He's coached superstars without drama. He's guided young quarterbacks through their growing pains. He's built offenses that actually scare people. He's won. He's composed. He's respected across the league. And that's the exact opposite of what Atlanta has tried to do recently, handing the keys to first-time head coaches, hoping raw enthusiasm could replace experience. It hasn't worked. And now there's a feeling in the air that the owner might finally be ready to try something different. Something proven. Something real. But here's the twist that makes this story even more fascinating. Atlanta suddenly has a reason, an emotional, strategic, desperate reason, to start rooting against Green Bay. Because if the Packers slide out of the playoff race, if they lose their grip just enough, that door creaks open. The door that could lead to one of the most impactful coaching hires Atlanta has ever made. And Green Bay's situation isn't stable. They're hovering on the playoff bubble. Their schedule is rough. Their margin for error is razor thin. They could easily drop several of their next 8 games. And if they do, that storm rolling toward Atlanta could become very, very real. As the season pushes deeper into the cold months, the Packers find themselves staring at a dangerous stretch of games. Division matchups. Tough opponents. Pressure rising every single week. And suddenly, the scenario that once felt impossible doesn't seem impossible at all. What if Green Bay actually misses the playoffs? If that happens, the ripple effect could shake the entire NFC. Because according to the whispers floating around the league, missing the postseason might be enough for Green Bay to make a drastic move. It could lead to a decision nobody expected, cutting ties with a coach who once looked untouchable. And if that moment arrives, even for a second, Atlanta instantly becomes one of the most attractive landing spots in football. And honestly, when you look at the roster, it's not hard to see why. Imagine an offensive mind walking into a locker room that already has electric pieces everywhere you look. A dynamic do-it-all running back. A tight end built like a mismatch machine. A young receiver with the tools to be a star. And a rookie quarterback with rare traits begging to be molded by the right teacher. That's not just appealing, it's a dream scenario. That's the kind of canvas an offensive architect would run toward. Think about the possibilities. An offense specifically crafted to unlock every ounce of potential in the backfield. Schemes designed to free the tight end in ways Atlanta fans haven't seen in years. Route combinations built to maximize a rising receiver's strengths. A system tailored around a young quarterback's arm talent, mobility, and instincts. That's not just a rebuild. That's a future. And then comes the detail that makes this rumor feel less like imagination and more like a spark waiting to ignite. Sources close to the situation believe he would genuinely be interested in Atlanta. Not casually. Not hypothetically. Interested. Suddenly the idea doesn't sound wild, it sounds possible. Yes, it's one of the craziest storylines of the season. Yes, it came out of nowhere. But it didn't come from trolls or clickbait. It came from people connected to this city, to this team, to the heartbeat of the fanbase. If the Packers falter. If the postseason slips away from them. If that coach becomes available. Atlanta could have a chance to land the kind of leader who doesn't just improve a team, he transforms a franchise. It's early. It's unpredictable. It's absolutely wild. But for the first time in a long time, this rumor feels like something Atlanta fans are allowed to get excited about. Something worth imagining. Something worth watching. The kind of moment that could change everything.